An important thing to understand about your failover cluster are all the components that are required. So in this diagram, I have two servers. Node 1, which is just a server running Windows Server 2019. And I have Node 2, my second server. It also just runs Server 2019. Now, it could run 2016, 2012, 2012 R2, any of these older OSs, but we're just going to say Server 2019. So I have a 2-node cluster. Now, let's say what we're actually trying to cluster is a file server. Now, to make that work, I have to have central storage. So this cluster storage is often called a CSV, or cluster storage volume. Now, this could be a lot of different things. This could be like an iSCSI drive. It could be some type of appliance you've actually purchased, like a storage appliance, like NetApp or EMC, something like that. Could even be a storage pool, which we discussed earlier in the course. But you have to have this centralized storage. Now, the reason is because if you created a shared folder on Node 1, if that folder only lived on Node 1 and Node 1 crashed, your data will be unavailable. So here is where my shares would actually reside. This cluster storage volume, or the CSV, it is simply mapped. So I would have, and we looked at this, a similar design of this earlier, but I would have an E drive, we'll say, that maps back to this cluster storage volume. So you log in either one of these servers, open the E drive, you're going to see the same set of data. So now it does not matter which server your request is routed through, you're going to see the same exact piece of data. If this were a SQL database, your database would live in the CSV. If this were a web app, your web app would live in the CSV. So whatever it is you cluster, that's where it would actually live. These could be virtual machines. If that's true, your virtual hard drives would live in that CSV. Now, my other components, we have to have connectivity to the storage. So I'm going to have some connection directly to the storage itself. Now, this is typically going to be reliable, so you'll have redundant connections to your storage. That could be Ethernet based, just depends on the type of storage you purchase. I'm also going to have a network connection between the nodes and the cluster. So they're just going to connect to like an Ethernet switch. They'll connect to the production network just like all my clients do. I'm also going to have a dedicated network that connects the failover nodes. So in reality, you would have like an Ethernet switch. All the nodes connect to the switch, and they use this to monitor each other. So if a service stops on one, they can quickly communicate with each other. And the fact that this is a dedicated network means there is no delay because no other traffic goes through this network. Then I'm going to have another network connection. This is going to connect to my production network. So you just have your NIC adapter here at each of your servers that connects out to your production network, same as your client. So that's how clients will actually connect to my failover cluster. And we would want to make sure all these connections are redundant. So we would have, dual connections, just so there's no single point of failure at a storage level, server level, or connectivity level.